Think of any major superstar you want right now. They might know who 1% of their fans are. Who cares about monthly listeners except for the music industry? I'm in Kenya next week meeting with the president of Kenya. This is not 2016 where you get put on Rap Caviar or New Music Friday and all of a sudden you are like every label's calling and flying you out. That does not happen anymore. $1 Million Baby right now. I want that shit on a t-shirt right now.
On today's episode of the One More Time podcast, we sat down with the co-founder of a company that is changing the game when it comes to artists getting paid. Mag told us all about how even.biz is here to fix the broken business model that is streaming. I mean, who's making a living off 0.3 of a penny per stream? Anybody? Sit down, Drake. And he explains how artists like LaRussell are taking full advantage of the platform to reclaim ownership of their data and of the relationship with their community, something that's really lost these days. I don't want to say too much more. Let's just get into the episode.
The initial thesis of Even is, will fans pay for music before it's made available on streaming platforms?
Sounds crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's how it used to be.
I know.
But
Are we going backwards?
But boy, were we wrong.
my analogy wasn't, I didn't even start with that. My analogy was, think of the movie theater and think of Netflix.
Yes.
Yeah. Right? Has anyone ever canceled their Netflix subscription when they went to the movie theaters?
No.
Maybe some random person out there.
But no.
But no. The only way to watch Dune 2 is by paying $20 at a movie theater. Even though we know it'll be on Hulu or one of these streaming platforms in the next 30 days, right? That movie's already in profit just on movie theaters. And this didn't require 100 million people to watch the movie, right? I think the movie cost like 120 million to make, right? You divide that by $20. We're talking about a realistic number. That movie, I think, is about to hit 200 million in revenue. Now, again, that's that top 1% of films, but we scale that back. My idea was, imagine if you're an artist and you get 100 people to pay you $20 to listen to your album. What would that do for you? Going back to the initial thesis of to your initial question, what is wrong with the music industry? What's wrong with the music industry is the mentality of the music industry. If the music industry was thinking the way fans were thinking, a lot of our problems would not exist right now.
What else?
I classify the problems in the music industry by really three pieces. Number one, payments. There's no reason why people should be getting paid 2 to 3 months after every streaming period, right? If you go to a local restaurant right now and you buy food at this restaurant,
I'll pay you guys next month, 2 months from now.
Can I get you next quarter? Can I get you next quarter?
No, but what's crazy is, imagine you go to that restaurant, you pay that restaurant, but then their payment processor says, we'll pay you in 3 months. That business would not be in business anymore, right? I'm not paying for my Apple Music subscription or my Tidal subscription in 3 months after I listen to it. I guarantee you I don't pay that $9.99, $12.99 doesn't go through this month. I probably won't have access today.
Yep.
But for some reason, the artists are being paid 2 to 3 months after that. Now, we can get into the specifics of why that works that way. That's not the fault of the streaming platforms. That's more of an ecosystem problem.
Sure.
But that's problem number one. Problem number two is data. Why is it that if a consumer is consuming your content, you do not know who they are?
That's fucked.
I remember when they initially rolled out like the for artists, right, on all DSPs.
Because you were probably like, okay, great. This is going to give us so much data about our listeners.
I remember.
We were so hopeful, Spotify.
Well, this is interesting. I just got, I met up with John Briggs. Shout out John Briggs from UTA. He's an agent.
Okay, yeah.
Incredible agent, but he was one of the early agents that I worked with when I was a manager. And as a manager, I wasn't encouraging the artists that I was managing to release to the DSPs at the time, right? We're talking about 2011 to 2014, around that era. The thing to do was to upload to SoundCloud. That was the cool thing to do, is you upload to SoundCloud. We're doing this for the music, the culture, whatever. We weren't trying to make money. We were teenagers in high school, right? Like, it was a thing that we wanted to do. And I remember all the DSPs reaching out and be like, yo, you should upload here. Let me introduce you to the distributor. And we're like, nah, we're good. And they're like, no, but you can get this, this, and that. They're like, you can get money and you can get data and you can get this. And then I remember we uploaded and then we waited. Mm-hmm. And then we finally got paid. I was like, oh, there's actually some money here. But I didn't understand the delay or the lag So I would say the first two, which are very important, is revenue and data. And I think the third most important, that kind of ties into both of them, is the industry hasn't allowed artists to own the relationship with their fans.
Yeah.
The people who benefit from artists not doing that is the organizations around them, right? That they kind of have to supply content, music, etc. And you know, it was interesting. I remember one of the early conversations that I was having with a partner, right? And by a partner, I mean like an external party that was not involved with Even. And I remember talking about these pain points, and their first thing was like, well, do artists want to get paid daily?
Why the fuck not?
I was like, are you serious? Like, is this a joke? And they're like, yeah. I'm just like, why would an artist want to get paid daily? I'm just like, well, they're running a business, right? Like any other business, you make money today, you should get money at latest tomorrow.
Yeah.
At latest 3 days. Shit, we'll take 7 days. Right?
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
That'd be great.
Whoa,
right?
whoa.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Right.
A week. Come on.
And then the data component, right? And I remember the follow-up question that they asked was just like, well, what are they going to do with the data, right? What are they going to do with emails and phone numbers?
Oh my God.
And I'm like, well, what do you do with it? Well, I don't do anything. Our marketing department does something with it. And I was like, exactly. I'm like, so what are we talking about, right? So I would say that's really the main three problems. One, revenue. Number two, access to data. And number three, owning that relationship with the fan. I try to stay away from the word fan internally as a company. I call them customers, right? I help artists really transition their perspective on how they see their fans and really transition them into customers, right? Because the moment you transition someone from a fan to a customer, you are also empowering them, but you're empowering yourself with the responsibility of who they are for you.
Yeah. Serving your customers sounds a lot more like you have to do this versus serving your fans for some reason.
100%, because you can dismiss a fan.
Yeah.
Oh, you just a fan. If you have a customer, you're not going to close your window on them and just drive away, right? And I think that's why the system hasn't really benefited both people. It doesn't benefit the artist and it doesn't benefit the fan, mostly because for some reason there was a barrier that was created between them to say you two should not be together, right? But the truth is they should be closer than ever before right now, because that's the way you can build a sustainable business and a sustainable career. Unless you're that 0.1% of artists that can just survive off of streaming and touring where you never have to directly interface with your fans, sure, right?
If you're good with 0.3 of a penny per stream, then by all means.
But that's the difference too between McDonald's versus a local burger chain, right? It's like there's only so many McDonald's that can exist at a certain period of time, right? But nothing stops from, like, I'm sure your favorite burger is at McDonald's.
What do you think it is about that mindset shift from fan to customer that I would assume that takes artists a little bit to have that click?
A lot of times they think it's harder than what it really is to get started.
To get a customer. Versus they think it's easier to get a fan.
It's easier to get a fan in their minds, right? It was interesting. I actually reshared this today. Daniel Ek on LinkedIn posted this like report that was showing that 56% of fans on Spotify are discovering music because of their algorithm playlists, right?
Okay.
Whether it's algorithm or editorials, like 56% is coming from us. But what's interesting, when I saw this, I was like, well, this means 43% of discovery on Spotify is happening from people like us just looking for stuff, right? That to me was so interesting because we know that there's a decline in editorial playlists and the way that people are consuming editorial playlists. We've known this for the past 5 years. There's been a natural decline because discovery is not happening on social media, right? For example, this Tommy record that's going crazy right now.
Number one.
Shout out
right?
$1 Million Baby.
It's number one.
Yo.
Going crazy. What a use case.
This is real life. I met with someone that's immediately affiliated with him over the weekend, and they were telling me about him. And I was like, yeah, for sure. But people always hit me all the time about music.
Yeah, sure. Tommy Richmond. Okay, got it.
Tommy.
Totally.
I was like, Tommy, I literally did a mental note because I like to listen to music. I like to listen to artists when people bring them up to me. It took a reel Very random reel. I'm almost embarrassed to talk about this today.
No, we need this.
This is real life.
Yes.
I saw a reel.
Real life. Sorry.
Why you gotta do that? He's like on a roll. He's on a reel.
It was there.
It was there. No, I appreciate it.
Sorry.
I saw a reel on Instagram actually yesterday of this like buff man dancing to this song.
Okay.
And the video was annoying, but the record was, I was like, yo, this is hard.
Crazy.
I immediately click on the sound on the reel.
Tommy Richmond.
I immediately go to Apple Music. I've been playing that. I've streamed that song easily 200 times.
That's why it's because of Mag that the record's #1 right now.
Yo.
No, I've done it too.
It's really good.
I've done it too.
It's a great song.
It's really.
And you got
good.
mad at me.
I'm just
That was
saying,
way
man.
worse.
We're here all day, folks. We are here all day.
But see, even I've been saying this for so long, but then it's interesting because I caught myself in it. But this isn't the first time this happened. I discovered a song not because of a playlist, not because of a homie reaching out to me. I listened to it because of something I saw on social media.
Why do artists not understand that that's how it's happening?
It's where people are finding things. It's where the eyeballs are.
Can you guys guess what's the next thing I did after I looked for the song?
You went to his profile.
100%.
Yeah.
And then I did what? Followed him.
Yes.
It was just this natural trajectory that by this point, I've interfaced with the song. I've interfaced with him now on social media. At no point in this moment do I have the opportunity to give him money, to become a customer.
Oh.
The link in bio, I go to his link in bio, it's just sending me back to the streaming platforms. There's no way for me to enter my email, my phone number, nothing. I'm ready to spend money. I'm like, $1 million baby right now. I want that shit on a t-shirt right now.
Tommy.
Yes. Where you at?
Literally, people want to give you money right now, bro.
But that's my thing. If I were to look at you guys right now, I'm like, yo, give your favorite new artist $100 right now. It's almost impossible for you to do that.
That's insane.
Unless you find their Cash App
So
or their
true.
Venmo.
That's true.
Bro.
No, man. I mean, we're living in an age right now where like I had enough proximity to you guys and you guys had enough proximity to me. And granted, I am not Tommy, right? But in many ways, like
In our world, you kind of.
You're our Tom.
I'm just saying.
but nothing stopped from us to be able to take that relationship off of Instagram. And now I have your email. Now we're talking on an email. Hey, look, come through the podcast. Come to this sketchy house with a huge...
Why you got to do that, Mag? Why you got to fucking do that?
It's not
This is a
sketchy.
professional podcasting studio.
Yes.
Okay, look at this set.
Look at this giant warehouse we're
Looks
in.
like it's like 10,000 square feet.
Come
in
on.
here.
No,
man.
this is real life. My Uber did not have functioning AC. And this man said, I'm not driving up there. That's how sketchy it was to get here.
Well, that's a function of Uber. I think.
Okay.
No, I'm joking.
All right. So
No, but
yeah. So obviously, it's a problem to not be able to like directly support your favorite artist financially.
Outside of that, right? Like in that moment, my intention was I want to put money in Tommy's pocket. That's not what it is. For me, it's I want more. Right? Like in that moment, I'm just like, yo, I want access to more. Right now, the access to more can only live in the present. I can go listen to his catalog. I can listen to other music. But as exciting as this is right now for me right now, I want to know what's next. I want access to what's next. It's the same way that like I really wanted to watch Dune 2 because I saw the trailer. And I saw the trailer, I was like, yo, this is crazy. I'm like, I want to go watch this movie. And next thing you know, I'm watching this movie. I'm reading the Wikipedia. I'm investing into this almost like moment that's happening the same way that like I'll find a new brand on Instagram. I'll click on their website. And next thing you know, they're retargeting me. And then next thing you know, I'm buying a shirt or buying these pants or buying these shoes or whatever it is, right? I think that to me is the thing that's missing in the industry. Conversion, the return on investment is only quantified. And the only metric is based on these vanity numbers that don't mean anything.
I hope you guys are enjoying the conversation. I want to take a quick moment to tell you about our pals at DistroKid. You can't get your music onto streaming platforms without a distributor, and DistroKid is an excellent choice to handle that for you. For the ridiculously low price of $23, you can upload unlimited music for an entire year. That is less than $2 a month. I tripped on $2 walking down the street earlier. They have countless features to help you out on your musical journey. One of my favorites is splits. Instead of my collaborators hitting me up all the time saying,
"Where's my money?"
I can input everyone's percentage when I upload the music, and DistroKid will handle it. I've personally used DistroKid for many years and can genuinely recommend them as a great tool to get your music out into the world. And if you sign up at omtdistro.com, you'll get 30% off an already insanely low price. This is absolute peanuts for unlimited uploads yearly. We wish you the best with your creating. Let's get back to it.
One of the most interesting case studies that we did before we launched Even, I went and I reached out to 100 people just in my world, right? Non-music related people. And I'm like, do you know how many monthly listeners your favorite artist has? You know how many people knew? None of them.
Yeah.
They didn't fucking care. Who cares about monthly listeners except for the music industry? I asked the same 100 people, how many times have you pre-saved a song? 10% of them. Oh, I've pre-saved this thing. What did it do for you? I used a net promoter score, right? This is like a tech thing.
Oh, yeah. NPS, we know
NPS,
it.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
I got a notification on my phone when it came out.
But I asked them, I was like, how would you ever recommend anyone to pre-save a song, right? These 10% of people, all of them is like, no, it did nothing. It was annoying. It took me 10 minutes to do. I had to log into my iCloud. I had to log into my Spotify on this Instagram browser, and I had an error, so I had to open up, and it did nothing for them, right? And that to me was a very clear view that, like, how do we replace the pre-save campaign?
Yeah.
The pre-save campaign does nothing for anyone. And that's really what Even is intended to do.
So yeah, enter Even. Let's actually like walk our audience through what the platform does, how it works, how artists are using it today, because I feel like you did a really good job of like painting the problem landscape, right?
Let's get into the solution.
And let's get into like what it is that you guys offer and what you're trying to achieve.
Think of a world where you discovered Tommy.
Okay, well, I love this Tommy. It's so like right now.
Yeah.
Although by the time
This won't be out for a little bit, but-
this is why I wish we were. Like,
know what's crazy?
Anyways,
The Tommy record will still be crazy when
It will be.
It'll probably even be crazier.
okay.
Right?
Just know we were early.
Today is
Yeah.
2024.
Okay, now he just outed us of how long it takes us to get episodes out.
They're gonna edit this out.
Mac is really fucking us over right now, bro. I thought I liked this guy. Now he's just outing us from multiple directions.
Bro, we edit these. I'm going to bleep that out.
Okay, it's
Easy.
fine. Today is
They're gonna use AI. And
Yeah.
It's May 26th.
okay, but yeah. So enter a world where
Enter a world.
I discovered this Tommy Richmond $1 Million Baby record.
Yep.
Okay, and then what happens?
I'm gonna paint the picture.
I love
right?
this. This is exciting.
Think of a different universe where Tommy is on Even. You discover this song,
The Tommy verse.
the Tommy verse, right? And you discover this record. You go to his Instagram, and you're like, "Oh, dang! There's an album I can listen to right now." You can listen to the song on Spotify, Apple Music, etc. But there's an extra 5 songs. It's an EP.
Just an EP.
EP.
Just a light
Keep
EP.
it simple.
Yeah.
You click on that link and you see, oh, there's an EP. There's 6 songs. Dang, if I buy this, I'm gonna get invited to a virtual Q&A. There's a chat.
Shit. Tommy's in there?
You pay over $50 and you get a signed vinyl.
Oh, Tommy signed vinyl?
Signed my
Tommy
vinyl?
signed
By
vinyl.
Tommy Richmond?
Himself.
And they got Apple Pay.
And I can just use my iPhone.
Oh, but you know what? I really want this $50 vinyl, but I only got $25 right now to spend. Oh, they got Klarna.
What's that?
Pay as you go, or they loan you. Yeah.
Sorry.
Pay later. Buy now, pay later.
Buy now, pay later. They'll split your payment into 4 pieces every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Essentially, in that moment, in a matter of 2 minutes and 60 seconds, 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like, is this some...
Start it over. We'll edit it.
No. I do that as a joke all the time because it takes 3 minutes to get you from A to Z.
Okay.
But in 3 minutes.
No, 2
you
minutes and 60 seconds.
2 minutes and 60 seconds.
Yes.
You can get from A to Z. A is you saw it on Instagram. Z is now you're listening to this EP.
Wow.
You're engaging directly with Tommy. You're engaging with other fans who bought the EP before the rest of the world.
Other Tommy Richmond fans. People like me.
I would do that today. I would pay to listen to the other 5 songs that are coming from Tommy today.
What do you think your bread and butter is, though, right? Because I feel like, you've described like some different functionality within the platform. Like, what's the thing?
This is the way I explain it to my mom, right?
Well, yeah, that's what we need.
Yes.
Kindergartner, mom, whatever, analogy you want to use.
Even is the movie theater premiere if Spotify was Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Most artists are going live on Even between 7 to 30 days before they go live on streaming platforms.
So it's not meant to replace DSPs.
No. It's not Even or streaming. It's Even and streaming.
Okay.
Every release on Even is designed to have a beginning and an end. The beginning's when it goes live on Even. The end is when it goes live on DSPs, unless you're LaRussell, who says, no, I want to keep it live even after. And
Shout out LaRussell.
Shout out LaRussell.
Man,
He said he was going to do the interview when he's in town for the T-Pain tour here in Atlanta. That's in June. So
You
fingers
let me
crossed,
know.
guys.
I will
Get on his ass.
I'm going to text him after this that Mag and I just locked in. So
Let him
let's
know.
make sure we do
Let
it.
him know.
Okay. So what do you think Spotify and like Apple Music, for example, are good for though? As far, because obviously you're not trying to replace them. So what role do you think that they play in the artist like ecosystem?
I'll give you an example, right? When I'm working at home and I'm in my living room, I left my office, I'm now home, but I'm getting working on my laptop. I'll play Bob's Burgers or whatever, right?
Great show.
Great show. I have never actually sat down and watched like the show.
Okay.
But I would just play it in the background every single day, Monday through Friday. You will catch Bob's Burgers playing literally on my TV.
Okay.
That is,
This is weird, but
I get it.
Okay.
I get it.
No judgment.
Any other given week, it might be like Rick and Morty.
no,
right?
but it's Bob's Burgers
Bob's Burgers
right now.
That to me is streaming, right? It's like it's background noise, it's accessible, it's there,
passive watching.
very, very passive. Now there is moments where like I want to watch Shogun, right? Incredible show. And I will sit there and I will watch it intentionally because you have to read the subtitles and it's like, but that's a blue moon, right? There's maybe 5 total series that I've actually sat down and watched beginning to end. Most of the time, my consumption on these streaming platforms on the video side are always just passive, the same way that my streaming consumption on the DSPs is very passive most of the time. It's a playlist that I've created. It's an album that I have. But then there's the Tommies of the world, right? Where every once in a while I'll find something and I'll go looking for it. And it's not just me. It's like my little brother is now 13 and my little sister is about to be 15. And I pay for their subscriptions. They're on Spotify, right? And they send me music all the time.
You're just paying. That's just the cheapest A&R research team you've had. Bro, we're on to you, Mag. You're paying
to
for
be
their
honest-
$13 a month for them to send you new artists, bro.
Oh my God. And they do that all day. You know
That's
where they
a jug, bro.
But you know where they
$200
find their
a year.
music? This is interesting.
That is child labor, bro.
They're paying for it for their subscription.
Okay.
I mean, my little brother is extorting me for his Xbox expenses.
Fortnite
Okay.
skins.
Fortnite skins,
Yeah.
Roblox,
Yeah.
I mean, everything.
So
you
it's a
name
lot
it.
more than the.
It's more than that. They're
Spotify
paying
benefits.
for this. Right. The perks.
Yeah.
No, but it's interesting. I always ask them how they discover music. My little sister discovers music on TikTok. That's how she finds music. My little
course.
brother discovers music on YouTube. 2 completely different habits of consumption. Neither of them discover music on Spotify.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, so you don't have any playlists? He's like, oh, I do have one of those because ex-YouTubers has a playlist of all the songs that he plays while he's staying, and I save it. But I always just like listen to music, or I'll find a song that I really like, and then I'll go look for it. And there's a reason why that's happening, right? Because we grew up in radio. We grew up putting CDs together. We grew up putting mixtapes together, right? The new generation, Gen Z and above, whatever the new generation's called, they are learning to be influenced, right? They came up in an era where it's like, so-and-so likes this thing, I have the opportunity to like this now, right? We grew up on an era where it was like, so-and-so told us to like this thing, and it's only available here. Therefore, this is what I'm gonna listen. Radio, that was radio, right? Whatever was playing on your version of Kiss FM or whatever that station was.
This guy's on MTV. I like him now. How much is the CD?
The biggest bullshit that's happening right now is no one can put you on in this industry. No one can put you on. This is not 2016 where you get put on Rap Caviar or New Music Friday and all of a sudden you are like every label's calling and flying you out. That does not happen anymore. Right now, the only way that it could happen is you get Kai to put you on his stream or play this record. But I guarantee you people like Kai are only playing that record if someone around his network influenced him enough to be like, yo, this is a record. Right. There's this kid out of Milwaukee right now, JP. I don't know if you guys know Bad Biddy. I'm going to put you on some Milwaukee.
I was like,
I don't know Bad Biddy.
I didn't know anyone made music in Milwaukee.
That's
I'm just gonna say.
I wish I had my own soundboard.
Yeah. Wah, wah, wah.
I got that one.
There you go. Okay,
JP,
but yeah.
going crazy right now. It was interesting because what ended up happening, I was out with the Genius people, and I was like, "Yo, y'all gotta listen to this." I was that annoying friend. I was like, "Y'all got." We were in the Uber together. I was like, "Y'all gonna listen to this song right now," and I play it, and it was like, "Okay, cool." And I looked back at Katie, who was like one of the senior producers at Genius. I was like, "Trust me, this is gonna be a thing." Boom. They went live with it this past week, where they actually brought him on the show. We never talked about it again. Whether I had an influence or not, I might have had a little bit of influence, but it's one of the fastest viewed videos on the Genius channel, and the record still has been going crazy. I'm talking about millions of views. You guys have probably seen it. Like, if you hear the record, you'll know. You just wouldn't know that he was some kid from Milwaukee. But I think that's the thing, right? It's like, I didn't put him on because he was from Milwaukee per se. That definitely helped me, but a lot of it had to do with the fact that, like, this record's been... I actually found out about the song by Wiz Khalifa.
Okay.
Wiz Khalifa did a video with it, and I was like, yo, this is hard. And then next thing you know the algorithm. I started seeing a bunch of videos of that, and then I found out he was from Milwaukee, and that even got me more excited, right?
Oh, you were hype.
Oh, I was, man.
You were so
Everyone
hype,
had to know. Everyone had to know that.
Genius has to know.
The
about
algorithm
this guy.
knew that they were both from Milwaukee before he did, and they're like, "Oh, we're about to get him. We're about to get him."
He thinks
right
we're just showing him a Wiz video.
now. Oh, just wait.
But
It's
to
his
be
new
fair-
favorite Milwaukee artist.
To be fair, we
Yeah.
got K-Camp, we got Rico Love from Milwaukee, Lakia.
K-Camp's from Milwaukee?
Yeah.
He's from
I thought he was from here, bro.
Lakia's from Milwaukee.
Oh.
Jacob Lattimore's from Milwaukee.
Damn, Milwaukee's kind of fly, bro.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Oh,
Okay.
shit.
We'll talk
He's
about
from
my book.
Greece.
Okay. So I know we don't like the term fan. We like to, call them customers, but I do feel like the people that are going to, come on to Even that are consumers of music and the art, I do feel like I would categorize them as super fans.
That's the hot take I wanted to talk about.
Yeah. Okay. So no, we don't call them that.
I mean, well,
What is this? What's your definition of a super fan?
my hot take is the music industry is getting super fans wrong.
Okay. What is it?
The music industry thinks that super fans are these like hyper aggressive human beings that are like, I love Taylor Swift. I will, tattoo her song on my body, right? Like, there is people like that, right? And we probably know some of those few people who Swifties, but it could be anything, right? Anyone. Now, the interesting thing is, on Even, the data is showing that only 10% of the consumers on Even are considered your traditional super fan.
How are you making that distinction?
We have like a survey that we do for fans after they buy a release on the
Okay,
platform.
and so what are you asking them that tells you whether they're a super fan or not?
We ask questions like, how many times have you listened to this artist in the last 30 days? How much have you ever paid for any merch? Have you ever gone to see them live? How many times have you seen them live? Right? Just kind of like your traditional consumption.
The traditional things that we would usually think mean super fan.
100%.
You're debunking that myth.
Do you follow them? How often do you view their story? How often do you view their feed? How was the last time you liked one of their posts? Like, I mean, it's the surveys are designed to be kind of like, depending on how you answer, other questions will come up.
Sure.
What's interesting is very rarely is that the case, right?
Wow.
80% of the users on Even are classified as two consumers. One is the frivolous spender. This is your everyday person. As long as they got Apple Pay, Google Pay, if I don't got to pull out my credit card and I could get this right now in a matter of seconds, minutes, etc. That's why we prioritize. When I made the joke of like 2 minutes and 60 seconds, we are trying to get it down to 2 minutes. Okay. That's our goal. It's like,
He's
For
counting
example.
down from that third 60.
1 minute, 60 seconds.
Yeah.
Literally. And what's interesting about that is like, think about next time you buy something on the internet, think about how long it took you from A to Z.
That's why Amazon's the best.
100%.
I can blink and I've already bought the thing.
Literally, the buy now button is insane. I don't need my CVV code. Oh my God.
It's
Done.
fucking nuts.
On Even right now, I can show you guys, we can get literally from A to Z. I could probably get it under a minute in front of you guys just because I've done it so many times. But the new consumer, we test it. Like we record how much time it takes from A to Z.
Yeah.
Sure.
And Even is consumer tech first, music tech second. Our job is how do we get consumers from around the world to be able to check out. And again, 40% of our users are frivolous spenders. These are people who are just like, it was available.
My
I
card's
saw
connected.
it, boom, Apple Pay, Google Pay, Link Pay, Cash App, Klarna, whatever it is. It was $10, whatever. It's done, right? The other 40%, which are a huge majority of our fans or users on the platform or customers, whatever we want to call them, depending on the conversation, they are the conscious consumer. These are people who care about, where their food comes from, where their clothes come from. They rather go to a local coffee shop than a Starbucks. These are people who feel like the mission is really connecting with them. Buy the art from the artist.
They're actually using the term probably support versus buy. Like
I didn't buy the art.
No.
I supported my favorite artist.
Exactly.
I made an impact in
Yes.
this artist's life.
Consciously.
100%. Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, the conscious consumer space has blown up globally. Right?
How do you find out that those are them?
Questions like that, right? It's like, how important is it for you to support your favorite artist?
Okay. I was just wondering, like, how do you even
Just ask them, bro.
Just ask. I mean, man, I spend maybe 5 to 10 hours a week talking to customers, both on the artist side and on the fan
Wow.
side.
That's
we don't
Oh man,
We don't do that.
we don't do enough.
I call people.
That's
we
for
can
me,
talk about
it's
this
neither
later.
here nor there, but just in general, it's important.
Oh, it's so. I mean, man, it's
And artists can be doing that. Artists should be doing
artists
that.
should 100%. And it's crazy when I was talking about the learning curve. Well, actually, I want to touch on the last 10%. The last 10%, right? So it's 40, 40, and then we got 10 and 10. The additional 10%, which has been growing as it's probably now closer to 16 to 20%. It's the experience seeker, the proximity buyer, right? What we call on the platform. So to give you guys some insight, there's, I don't know, close to 9 billion people on the planet, right? Only 10% of the global population will ever have proximity to their favorite artist in their lifetime. Mostly because the touring markets are so nascent around the world.
Okay, so you mean proximity physical. You're going to be touring in my city, or you're going to be doing an event. You're going to be doing a listening party. You live in my city, whatever the fuck
Whatever
the
it
case
is. They will only 10% of the global population will have proximity to their favorite artist in their lifetime.
Wow.
This leaves 7 to 8 billion people from the world around the world who will never have proximity to that artist.
Yeah.
Now, 23 years ago, when iTunes launched, only 6% of the global population had access to a credit card or a debit card.
Whoa.
That's the estimate. It probably was a little lower. Now, over 50% of the global population is buying things on the internet every single day. So a fan from Australia, Singapore, Tokyo, Sao Paulo, Mexico City can now buy Tommy's album on Even with no problems. And we're seeing that. During our closed beta, we just came out of beta on April 8th. We were in beta for a year and a half. Officially 1 year. We had users in 195 countries.
Whoa.
I didn't even know there was 195 countries.
Yeah, right.
Dude, you just blew my mind, right? I was today years old when you told me there was 195.
No,
more than that.
I've spent in the last year talking to governments from. I'm in Kenya next week, meeting with the president of Kenya.
What?
We just got access to the Kenyan currency and their main payment processor, which is called M-Pesa. And I've been doing this. I've been in Nigeria. I was in DR. We're literally, part of the reason why we're on this roadshow right now is we now support 135 currencies on the platform. Again, I did not know there was 135 currencies.
Jesus.
But part of the reason why we're doing that, this is twice as many as a Shopify, for example. Spotify isn't available in 195 countries, right? The streaming platforms. So you think about, there's consumers from around the world where they can access a Tommy, for example. Man, we're giving Tommy so much
Dude,
love.
Tommy better come on the fucking podcast after this, bro.
I'll work on that. I'll connect you guys. But
well, I mean, we're gonna make an epic Tommy Richmond clip, like for sure. Because
well, no, but that's the example, right? Thinking of a Tommy or a LaRussell or etc. I'll use a real life example. Lauren Jaregui. Or Lauren Jauregui, right? She's Cuban and incredible partner. She's done 2 singles on the platform. She found Even on her own, created an account, and I remember like our client services team like put this in front of me, like called me at like 11 o'clock at night. Mag, Lauren just created an account. I was like, why are you calling me at 11:30 at night?
did you know who she was?
Oh, 100%.
Oh, okay.
But I was like, why are you, I was more concerned of like, why is my employee calling me at 11 o'clock at night?
Okay.
Okay, cool. Now that we're past that, this is incredible. We reach out to the team, and she's done 2 singles on the platform. Most of her sales, without giving away too much information, have come from outside of the country. And they're coming from regions that she has rarely toured. And these are fans that like want proximity to her, right?
Bro, this is blowing my mind right now.
They never would have had any type of access like that without
This is borderline the biggest. This is like huge right now.
Well, this is the thing, right? Now you add currencies to it, right? When we started including these new currencies on the platform, fans in Mexico can pay in the Mexican peso.
Yeah.
Fans in Nigeria can pay in the naira. We pay the artist in whatever currency they want, no matter where they are in the world. Now, on the other side, not only are we paying daily, but we can pay an artist daily no matter where they are in the world, and it doesn't matter what currency their fans paid in. So people are now seeing this in their native currency, in their native language, supporting their favorite artist no matter where they are in the world, and the artist is getting paid daily.
Did you think that this was going to be a use case at all?
Not at all.
No way, right?
No. I mean,
I've spent hours and hours looking at Even and like trying to understand how like this is mind blowing. And I know it's a small percentage right now, because you said it's only, it's 10 to 20% now growing. I would not be shocked, bro, if this.
Oh, this is the thing.
Yeah,
that is the thing.
This is the thing.
Well, this
bro.
is the thing, right? We identify that, but it goes back to the question. You're only going to get the data you ask for.
Yeah.
We weren't asking.
How would you know?
The frivolous spender and the conscious consumer can tie into that global user. And again, the data has showed us we have users in 195 countries. Only 30% of Even's users right now are from the United States.
Whoa.
Wow.
Everything else is coming from around the world.
Yeah.
Right. There's people that are supporting LaRussell, buying albums of LaRussell, who now has, I think, like 8 albums on the platform.
Yeah.
From around the world. LaRussell has never toured outside of the United States yet. Right. So that is the data that we are now being able to pass over to our partners and show them. Now, a Lauren, who has a global audience, millions of followers, millions of monthly listeners, she already knew she had these audiences. She just didn't have a way to engage with them. Now you take a LaRussell who is seeing crazy growth, who now has the opportunity to be like, yo, maybe we should go to Romania next. you know? So now, where it gets interesting is when we start working with global artists, right? We did our first release in Ghana in January with this artist, Kwesi Arthur. He is from Ghana, right? The average person in Ghana makes $2,500 a year. That's like the average income.
Wow.
He did his album on Even, and in the first overnight, he made $5,000. 80% of those sales happened in Ghana, with the average fan in Ghana paying $9 per album. Wow. Every major insights company on the planet in the music industry called us. And this happened on Friday. By Monday, every major insights company, most of them appalled. How dare you sell music in Ghana? What are you doing launching in Ghana or doing this thing? And granted, we weren't even supporting the Ghana currency. We weren't supporting any of those payment methods. These were just people who were finding a way to pay with a US card or a debit card, which they're available, right? Mm-hmm. But the everyday person was going to use probably more traditional card that was primarily around the ecosystem that they were, buying things in. But the most interesting part that we found in that moment is people are willing to pay no matter where they are in the world. Now, we launched in Nigeria earlier this month, a part of separately from our launch. We found that in Nigeria, this is a country of 220 million people, right? About 60 to 70% of the size of the United States as far as population density. In 2023, Afrobeats made $110 million. Only 2% of that touched the country because they're monetizing globally, but distribution companies are in the States, are in Europe. There is incredible artists in Nigeria today. They can't leave the country because getting a visa to get out of the country. So they're just waiting their turn for their time to be able to grow that economy. Even now offers them opportunity because they have these massive audiences to monetize their music without leaving the country, getting paid in their country, in their native currency.
Damn. This is so cool, man.
Mind-blowing.
I was like, I so much just more thought about it as the super fan. That's really what I was like. I had like a bunch.
Just rethink the question.
I'm like, fuck it. That's why I love just, kind of going off the cuff a little bit because I really thought it was about just, I'm a diehard, LaRussell fan. I've seen him 10 times live. I've bought every piece of merch. Of course, I want to buy his album to get exclusive access early. And I want to be in the, group chat, like whatever, or like the, Q&A chat. Yeah. I didn't think about it from the gaining access to global audiences that do want to support you, that just really, they can't.
They have no way to do it.
Going back to the Tommy example, it's like if someone now if Tommy goes on tour, he's not going global. He's not going to go on a global tour right off the bat. He's just not, right? So if you're in any of those other markets, you can't spend money with this guy. Like,
it's hard. I mean, and that's the part, right? Where like when I'm talking to a team, I've met with teams on every side of the spectrum, right? The top 0.0001% of artists, right? The global superstars.
You met with Drake?
The top on the side.
0.002%.
And then, we've also met with like the artist who's never made $1 from streaming before, right? Mm. What's really interesting, there is a common denominator. Think of any major superstar you want right now in this moment. You ask them, do you know who your fans are? They might know who 1% of their fans are. With the limited data that they've been able to collect, they might have like, yeah, we have a Shopify store, or hey, we have this Laylo account, or hey, we have this thing. We're talking about 1% of their fan base because they've never been able to be put in an opportunity. Live Nation's not giving them that data. Spotify's not giving them that data. YouTube's not giving them that data. And that is really the flaw of the industry. I started my career in the music industry as a producer, manager, engineer, did that for 6 years. And then I started working in the venture space. And one of the things that I learned in the venture space was consumer startups, whether they were consumer packaged goods or consumer tech. One of the most fascinating things that I witnessed in real life, I saw a company go from $0 to selling for hundreds of millions of dollars, in the high hundreds of millions of dollars in a span of 4 years. And they only had a couple 100,000 customers. And here I was working with artists with millions and millions of monthly listeners who could not pay rent at the end of the month, who couldn't even get a $100,000 advance from a distributor or a label without signing away everything. And I'm like, something's broken here. Why is it that there's a company here who's selling a product that only a very small percentage of the population wants, and here's this artist who's making incredible music, can't have a sustainable career? And the answer was data. Here was this company that can sell product. They knew who every single one of their customers was. They know where they live. They know what they like to buy. They knew the track record. If you buy this product and it's meant to last you for 30 days, I know to send you an email on the 27th day to remind you that you should buy this now so you can get it by the time you run out. The music industry has never had that before. And this isn't just the emerging artists with no monthly listeners. This is also UMG, Warner, Sony. When we talk to some of these major labels, major distribution companies, very rarely do they give a fuck about the revenue, if I'm being honest with you. The revenue's a plus. But for them, it's the data. It's like, oh, we now have access to data. Now, once we get through the hurdle, right, of like, all right, well, where does the money go? Where does the data go, et cetera? The next challenge is, what do you do with the data? We introduced this new tool 3 weeks ago called Fan Connect on the platform. Think of MailChimp meets Community. You can send SMS notifications, email notifications. Now, on paper, the tool is very simple. It already exists in the world. We just plugged it into the platform. What made it very powerful is where an artist like LaRussell, who now has data of fans who've bought music on platform, now can send a text message and say, hey, I have this new release. I'm not posting about it on social media, but you can buy it from me. If you guys bought any of LaRussell's albums, you guys probably got his text message or his email like, hey, I have this new release. He made 5 figures overnight without even promoting this album on social media.
Wow. One text.
Wow.
That is the power of data and what it does at long term. But then there's a responsibility. Just a couple of days ago, I was texting LaRussell and he was doing like this merch sale. And I was like, man, you should text everyone. He's like, no. He's like, I want there to be a medium, right? And that's one of the most powerful things to do. Having access to data doesn't mean you exploit data as well.
You can abuse it really easily.
You can abuse it very quickly and people will unsubscribe. It's knowing the medium, right? Like Nike doesn't send me an email every day and shit. Lord knows I've spent so much money on Nike. They only come to me when they know my specific product that I'm going to want is going to be releasing. So
how do you get people to be that customer? I think this all sounds good and well.
Yeah.
It's amazing. But I think our biggest challenge, and I say our as in our community's biggest challenge, is, okay, awesome. How do I even get a community of people to want to support me financially, right? I think that's the biggest question. So like, what are you seeing as far as like, common success models for people that are converting, followers on social to customers on Even?
the simple answer is just start, right?
Even if it's 5.
Lower your expectations and start.
I swear to God, I just said this. I was like, because we want to start getting our community involved to support us, because we're the same way, where it's like, yeah, we have maybe like a donate button, but it's very hard if someone does want to immediately like, oh my God, I fucking loved their content. I loved that interview. How do I support these guys? How do I, purchase something that is exclusive or, whatever the case? Like, we don't have it.
Yeah.
And I think that we have this weird thing of like, well, what if it's only 5? Who fucking cares if it's 5 people that pay
Just
$10,
start.
$20?
Yeah.
There's $100.
I'll give you an example. When you guys started this podcast, you guys probably didn't start with this plant probably wasn't here.
We were on that
See
pool
that
table.
pool table right there?
You simply have to start, right?
Yeah.
And when I talk to a team, it doesn't matter who I'm talking to. Lower your expectations and start. That's literally my formula.
Start messy and then start learning what's working and just build.
And you know what's crazy? Sometimes it's easier to do that, lower your expectations and start. Because after you do it and it goes really well, then your expectations get really high. And it went really well. Now you're expecting it, where it's kind of like, that's always been really interesting. We'll have an artist who goes live on Even and they'll make, I don't know, $1,000 on their first release. And then the next release, they go in so confident. They're like, I'm going to make another. And then they'll make $500. They're like, what went wrong? And I'm just like, well, I can tell you very clearly, you went into this release so confident that you thought you were only going to make 2 posts. Last release, you did 10 posts. You were DMing people. You were messaging people, right? And then we have artists who go into it with like no expectation, right? They have 200 monthly listeners, not 200,000 monthly. I've seen artists on a daily basis. I can pull up my phone right now and show you an artist sold an album for $1,000 today, and this artist had less than 3,000 followers.
So
Right.
crazy.
We see it every single day.
The amount of streams they would have to get.
It's unfathomable, bro. The math does not math.
The math doesn't. I mean, and what's really interesting, I think, when I'm talking to an emerging artist, for me, the thing that excites me every day is those artists, right? That like have never made $100, have never made $1,000, and here they are making tens and thousands of dollars on the platform. And then what's interesting is on the other side, we use this as an opportunity to highlight them. If you've ever been on our Instagram, every once in a while we'll highlight an artist who like just made a bunch of money, who doesn't have a massive following, and next thing you know, they'll have a distribution deal and they'll have a new manager. And
I love the way y'all position the numbers too, right? It's like how many streams, the streaming equivalent, I think is what y'all call it.
Yep.
That's so cool to see, of like, to your point, like to make that 1,000, you would have to get what, like 250,000 streams or whatever.
Yep.
Right. But if it's $1,000 and there was a $10 product that you sold on Even, that's 100.
Yep.
100 versus 250,000. 20,000. It's just, the magnitude is insane.
The most fascinating data point that I found is that it takes 200,000 fans on streaming platforms every single month just to make $5,000.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Think about this. Any other business in the world, 200,000 people, you're out of here. Millions and millions of dollars.
Because that's if they were to spend, even if they spent $1, it's 200 grand.
Yeah.
I'll reframe it another way. If only 1% of those 200,000 people
So what is that,
gave you
$2,000?
$20,
Yeah.
what would happen?
Yeah.
I'm talking about $40,000, right? I remember I was looking at the data and I would go back and I was like, no, let's look at another artist. And then boom, same thing. Boom, same thing. And it didn't matter. You would combine all of the streaming data from all of the streaming platforms, combine it based on streams, based on total listeners. Boom, 200,000 to 400,000 people every single month just to make $5,000. And I'm just like, this does not make sense. Like, why isn't anyone talking? Like, we've been so hyper focused on like the 0.00 per stream that we never stop to think, well, how many people does it take to actually make this money? Ask your distributor. If you're an artist, ask your distributor, ask your label, when they give you your report every month, when they're paying you for your streams, how many people listen to my music? They probably don't even have that information.
That's fucked up. That hurts my soul.
Because if they did, the gap would show up so clearly. People would realize, how is it that this artist only made $100, but they have 80,000 people listening to them?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. So on the back end on Even, one of the things that we did from day one is we have the streaming equivalent.
Yeah.
When artists will make $10 and we'll show
Just
them.
seeing that number in front of you has to just be
Has to
mind
get you
blowing.
jazzed,
When
right?
I was even doing the post that we did about you guys, like putting that in there, I was like, is that the right number of zeros?
And we have artists that like, they'll say like, yo, we just hit 1 million streams on Even. And I'm just like, no, that makes sense because those numbers make it real for the artists, right? We have an artist come on the platform that has hundreds and thousands of followers, millions of monthly listeners. They make 5-6 figures in revenue. Cool, right? Like, that's exciting. Yeah, that's amazing. We got to go work with this really cool artist. But nothing beats the moment of like working with an artist who made $10,000 in a day.
Who's used to getting $17 in royalty money.
Even if
like-
they were making $500 a month, right? There was a release that we just did on yesterday, Sunday, who made $9,200 in 24 hours, and he was making $500 a month from streaming. That was crazy in that moment. It wasn't that it was unpredictable, but it was just like, holy shit.
Here's the next 18 months of those checks at once.
At once from like 300 people. I think it was like 275 people or something crazy. And the crazy thing is, when they get excited in that moment, I try to tell them, I was like, look, don't stop now. You have these 250 people that just decided to pay to listen to your album 2 weeks before streaming platforms.
Give them something crazy.
Do you have any merch?
Yes.
And they'll be like, well, no, I have this idea, or whatever. Mock it up, send
Sell
that
it.
shit. Yo, I'm selling these t-shirts. I'll ship them out in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And they'll sell out and they'll make an extra 10 grand.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, holy shit, I'm like, keep it going.
Yeah.
Where is the biggest market? You have 50 people in Atlanta.
Go do a show.
Go do a show. Find a small little bar, call them, be like, yo, can I do a 4 p.m., 5 p.m. show? Invite those 50 people.
Because you can invite them.
Because you have
You
the
actually
text
have the
them.
data. All right. So this sounds so fucking great. All right. I'm an aspiring artist. I'm like, oh my God, how do I fucking take advantage of this? How do I sign up? Can I sign up? How do I get on the platform?
So there's two ways into this. The first way is you can go to Even, just directly, even.biz, click for artists, create your account. There is an authentication process. I'm going to look at this camera and say, if you're going through our authentication process, enter all your information into your bio, images, streaming links, social media links. It will make the process a lot quicker for you. The current wait time is anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks to get authenticated, mostly because of the wait list. We have I think we're nearing 50,000 artists on our wait list right now.
It's a big wait list.
It's a wait list.
That's something.
And we're working literally 7 days a week to, we're approving anywhere between 100 to 200 artists a day.
Yeah.
The other route is ask your distributor. If you're working with a distribution company, you can ask your distributor. Just go to your support line or your direct contact and be like, hey, I want to work with Even. There's a 9 out of 10 chance possibility that they're already in the network and they can expedite your process as fast as like a day.
And we're not talking like the biggest of the big like exclusive label distributors. Like we're talking ones that a lot of y'all might use.
The distro kids,
the distro kids, CD babies, potentially TuneCores, UMs, whatever. They might have the relationship, right? So ask, and just because, you know, if they do, there's still probably like some things that have to happen, but like at least initiate the process through your distributor. That seems like to be the best bet to like, you know, kind of quicken the process, right?
I can't, for legal reasons, say what distributors just yet.
Yeah.
Maybe by the time this airs, it'll already be public information. But ask your distributor. What I can say is we have direct contact to every major indie DIY distributor. So reach out to your distributor, ask your rep if you have a relationship with them. And honestly, the easiest way, even if you don't want to go that route, email us, artists@even.biz. And our team will take care of you. We have an incredible client services team.
They do.
That will literally get you set up. We'll find the right avenues to get you. They'll ask you all the fancy questions of like, do you have a distributor, aggregator, whatever it is, label? And I think to that point, there's a misconception that we only work with fully independent artists. We love working with fully independent artists. It's a lot of what we do. But we also work with signed artists. And the reason why we prioritize that since day one is we want to be a part of an artist's career from day one to the day that they're selling out arenas. And that's something that we've prioritized because it's important, right? I think of platforms like Bandcamp, where the fact that they never paid out to the PROs and they never had a direct relationship with some of these like performance rights organizations, mechanical royalties at a global scale, has prevented some of the biggest artists from being on platforms like Bandcamp. And it's something that we've prioritized from day one. We've been able to build direct relationships with the PROs, not just in the States, but from around the world. And we prioritize not only paying the artists, but also paying songwriters and producers, which will allow artists at any scale to be able to go on Even and engage with their favorite artists.
I'm just curious, you know, this is all just incredible for the artist, just to kind of flip sides and look at it from a fan's perspective. We're so used to all this music, you know, instantly, basically free, you know, a small like monthly subscription. Have you seen any kind of pushback? Are people kind of upset at the thought of going back to paying for music?
I'll say this, from the hundreds and thousands, we're almost crossing the $1 million, like not the $1 million, the million user mark on platform. We've only ever had one request for a refund.
Really?
Yes. And that request for a refund,
You'll never forget it.
oh, I'll never forget it, but it was crazy. It was an accident.
The request was an accident?
The payment was an accident.
They bought it on accident.
They paid more than what they could afford.
They typed in an extra zero or something.
Yes, this fan paid $1,000 and they meant to pay $100.
Literally. Wow.
And
so it wasn't real. It wasn't like a full refund.
It wasn't a full refund.
Okay.
It was
whoops. Fat fingered that zero.
And you know what's crazy? What ended up happening was we processed the refund instantly for the fan. We returned whatever they wanted the difference to be. The artist saw it on their dashboard that, oh, wow, this fan just paid $1,000.
Oh, shit.
The artist called the fan and it was just like, yo, thank you. But no, they didn't say like, thank you for spending $1,000 or whatever. They're like, thank you for buying the album. I really appreciate you. This like means the world to me. The fan went on the platform and paid $900 for the release.
Wow.
No. Holy shit.
That's what that access will do?
Wait, you can call your fans?
You have access to all their information. You can text them.
Okay, so yeah, it's
email.
just
you can own that relationship with that fan.
Wow.
That's an amazing story.
That is wild.
Henry, on that note, we've entered a final segment of the podcast.
Let's do
that was
it.
so worth it.
Let's do it.
Nice question.
Yes.
I was like, is this going to be good, this guy?
You never have faith in me, you know?
Well, like coming in last minute, you know? I thought you would have double dutched.
It was on my mind for a little bit. I was just so locked into.
I can tell.
Fuck.
Let's go.
Good shit. Okay, so this is the rapid fire rampage. We're going to break it up into 3 parts. Let's start with some short answer questions.
Let's do it.
Starting with, why did the chicken cross the road?
Because it was curious.
and to buy music directly from his favorite artist on even.biz. He was curious about how to do that. My thing is now the first question gasses up the guest. Like, get them hyped.
I love that.
No,
I love
for
that.
sure. That was good. That was good.
Okay, moving on. Playback Ben has $1,000 to roll out his new single. How would you advise that he spend it?
What's the outcome that he wants?
I think you have to dictate. He has no idea what he's doing.
Okay, so
He's a brand new artist, but he's got this hot single.
Let's say this. I want to get as many customers to purchase the song on Even.
number 1, create a pixel, right? Make sure you are on Even, right? So create your account, upload your album on Even, and do a campaign where you convert your followers into actually, you know what? Actually, scratch all that. Fuck that. Use that $1,000 to create a unique experience for your audience, whatever it is. Whether it's I'm gonna create a custom bobblehead of my album or a custom candle, create a unique experience that you can offer as an access point to build a relationship with an audience, right? Something you can put a ticket on, right? Like $50, right? Where now you just need 20 people to pay you $50.
And it's crazy because we bought this candle
From an artist. Shout out Will Hill, one of our favorites.
That was amazing.
Yeah, that was good. Damn.
Yeah.
Completely flipped that shit on his head, bro.
Unique experience.
Yes.
Very unique experience.
That's all it's about.
Mag, you must choose one song to play every time you walk into a room.
$1 Million Baby.
Tommy Richmond. God, I love that for him.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna switch it up.
no.
I'm gonna switch it up. I'm gonna switch it up.
You can't.
We're editing this second answer out, but go
Okay.
ahead.
Ay Lupita by Lo Miel.
Okay.
You guys should check it out. Incredible record coming out of DR right now.
Wow, his accent just kicked in.
I don't know how to spell any of
Crazy.
that.
Ay Lupito. Ay Lupita. Ay Lupita.
Ay Lupita. That's the new intro for this episode.
Okay.
Oh, that's the intro. Got it. Yeah, for sure.
Ay Lupita.
Give us your best 3 pieces of advice for an artist who just decided they want to sell directly to their fans. What's the 3 top things they just immediately put into action?
Don't think about it. Just do it. And
good.
don't be afraid to reach out to your immediate network about it. It's the best way to test it, right? Just set it up, create your campaign, and start reaching out to your immediate network. No need to go, you don't have to aim bigger than what's already within your reach. I think it's the most important.
That's a good way of putting it.
Hand-to-hand combat, DMs, texts, people you know.
Hand to hand.
You know.
Just do it. This guy really does spend a lot with Nike.
I really
Okay.
literally.
Love it.
Christ.
If you had to jump into a pool of something besides water, what would it be?
God damn it.
Jump into a pool. It's
It's so...
This is a new one.
Yep, I can tell.
money?
Hey, let's go. The money pool.
Scrooge.
I only swim in money. Let's
Go.
Swim in money.
Does your money have... Does your pool have money in it or not? Fuck that water.
And finally, what is your favorite curse word?
Well, this is I got to think on this one. I have a couple.
Okay. You need to narrow it down.
Nothing beats a good fuck.
It's hard to beat. It's a tough one to beat.
Yep.
For sure. That was part 1.
Part 1.
This is the this or that. I'm going to give you 2 choices. You just pick one. Okay. Starting with, upload your music to DSPs or sell directly to fans.
Oh, sell directly to fans.
Fuck you, DSPs.
Okay.
Daniel Ek would never.
Until Daniel comes on the pod.
I want to see Mag and Daniel Ek just go on like the craziest beef.
Would you moderate like a debate?
Yes, I'd host a fireside chat with Mag and Daniel Ek.
Daniel Ek's my bro.
For sure.
Slap boxing.
Oh, shit.
Daniel Ek's dropping like a fly.
I love it. I love it.
That's crazy.
I'm moving on.
I do not approve them.
That's fine.
It's fine, we
We
do.
said it, you didn't.
Yeah. Mac or PC?
Oh, Mac all day.
Pet bird or pet snake?
Pet bird.
Wait in the merch line or see the opener?
See the opener.
Whiskey or tequila?
Tequila.
I knew it, bro. We got to get...
Bro,
We're on it.
Yeah.
It's two guys sitting around.
Music loves tequila.
It does.
Especially Atlanta.
Yeah. TikTok or Twitter?
Twitter or X.
Yeah.
Money printer or time pauser?
Money printer.
Cheesecake or brownie?
Cheesecake.
For here to go.
For here.
Fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
When people actually think about it in their head.
Yeah, there's that moment where the visual clicks.
A second.
The visual clicks.
Yeah.
I want the what?
You're going to get it now. You're getting it now, Mag.
You said a horse-sized duck?
Yes, or 100 duck-sized horses.
Let's do the
Single foe. Yeah. Okay. And finally, become a full-time singer-songwriter or leave the music industry forever.
leave the music industry.
He was like, could I do it? Could I maybe do it? Nah. Pass off even, make a nice exit.
I did have a dream that I was on Sway in the morning, and I decided to spit a 16.
Oh, Max spits hot fire.
And it went viral for all the wrong reasons.
Literally.
Wow. I love that. The final part is the word association. Mac, I'm going to say one word. You just give me the first word off the top of your head.
Okay.
As little thought as possible. Preferred. Here we go. Rampage! By the way, that guy saying Rampage, H. John Benjamin, also the voice of Bob from Bob's
Burgers.
Callback.
Wow.
Yeah. My favorite voice actor. He's great. Starting with hip hop.
Million.
Microphone.
Dollar.
No. No, he's not doing it, folks.
Tommy.
Baby.
So annoying.
Tried to divert it.
I love this for us. I
Tried to divert it.
No, I love this for us. This is a good moment.
All right, that was a moment for sure.
Yeah, no, this whole episode.
Whole episode has been a moment.
Yeah.
Sure. Kiwi.
Strawberry.
LaRussell.
Different.
Ice skating.
Dangerous.
AI.
Dangerous.
Silk.
Soft.
Birthday.
August.
Hookah.
Tequila.
Lil.
Yachty.
Buy the art.
From the artist.
Let's go. This has been Mag, co-founder of even.biz. Submit your application to be on the platform today. If you are a fan and you want to support your artist, buy the art from the artist.
Buy the art from the artist.
For God's sake, folks, buy the art from the artist.
It just makes sense.
It just makes sense.
Come on.
Speaking of support the One More Time podcast by following us on Spotify Podcasts, following us on Apple Podcasts, like, comment, subscribe if you fuck with this interview. We are here each and every week. Until next time, Henry, what are we doing?
Getting out of here.
Getting the fuck out of here. Peace, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Pop that shit like one more time. And pop that one more time. Pop that